All right, guys. So the most ethical administration in history, or the so-called most ethical administration in history, according to the Biden administration, um, is maybe not so ethical, as there are some serious ethics concerns coming out of the White House, particularly dealing with Hunter Biden. Okay, the gift that keeps on giving, because Hunter Biden, whom seems to be a man of many talents. Okay, he has a vast vocabulary that includes the N-word. Okay, he also has expertise in the oil industry, as he was sitting on the board of Burisma, right? He has deep connections in China, right? Doing business there too. He's been guest speaking at university about media polarization, and he's also an author as well. He was also in the military at one point. And now Hunter has become a world famous artist. Yes, a painter. Because just for the low price of about $500,000, you can get an original Hunter Biden painting, right? Piece of art. Think about it. You can get a Pablo Picasso or a Hunter Biden. You can get a Pierre Auguste Renoir or a Hunter Biden. You can get a Lorenzo Beachy or a Hunter Biden, just for the low price of $500K. That's right. First time painter and artist Hunter Biden is selling his artwork for $500,000. I mean, it's bidding. They're trying to sell it for between $75,000 and $500,000, up to $500,000. Right. So obviously, this raises a lot of questions. I mean, the main one being, how in the hell can you get away with selling art at that price when you've never painted anything in your life, right? I mean, experienced artists and painters would have issues selling for that much, right? Let alone somebody that is just getting into the game. Unless you're the president's son, of course, and maybe you can, I don't know, sell some influence along with that art. So the art world, right, is already filled with sketchiness, right? Money laundering, things of that nature, right? It's pretty unregulated. And considering Hunter Biden's history, right, when it comes to Burisma, when it comes to China, when it comes to all his sketchy business dealings, this just seems to be par for the course in terms of what the Bidens tend to be involved in, right? As long as 10% goes to the big guy. And guys, it's so apparent how unethical this may be, that the White House had to speak out about it, right? They had to actually discuss this issue, right? And I want you guys to watch this clip of not only the White House basically trying to defend this, but also Obama's ethics director obliterating the White House for trying to defend it. And CNN sitting there acting like, I don't know if this is an issue. Hunter Biden might be a legitimate artist. Take a look.
I can tell you that after careful consideration, a system has been established that allows for Hunter Biden to work in his profession within reasonable safeguards. Of course, he has the right to pursue an artistic career, just like any child of a president has the right to pursue a career. But all interactions regarding the selling of art and the setting of prices will be handled by a professional gallerist adhering to the highest industry standards. And any offer out of the normal course would be rejected out of hand. And the gallerist will not share information about buyers or prospective buyers, including their identities with Hunter Biden or the administration, which provides quite a level of protection and transparency.
Walter Schaub is the former head of the Office of Government Ethics under President Obama. Walter, thanks for being with us. So some of those safeguards put in place are neither Hunter Biden nor the public will know who bid on or purchased the work. And if there's unusual behavior like the offer being too high, the collector doesn't appear to be interested, the gallery is expected to turn down the offer. You don't think that's enough. Why?
No, I mean, they have outsourced government ethics to an art dealer. She mentioned industry standards. It's an industry that's notorious for money laundering. There's no standards in that industry. And the idea that they're going to flag any overly priced offers Well, this is art that hasn't even been juried into a community art sale. How are they going to decide what's unreasonable when they've already priced it in the range of 75,000 to 500,000 for a first outing? This is just preposterous and very disappointing.
And Walter, just explain, why would the White House be the intermediary for the art sale? I mean, I think that what Jen Psaki was saying was that they thought that this would be a way to head off any ethical concerns, but you're shaking your head.
Yeah, they've absolutely made it worse for two reasons. One, what they've done is ensured that neither you nor I nor anyone watching this show will know who buys the art unless they share it publicly. But there's nothing that we can do to monitor to make sure that Hunter Biden or anyone in the White House doesn't find out, that the dealer keeps his or her promise, that the buyers don't call the White House, ask for a meeting, and say, hey, I just bought the president's son's art for $500,000. Now, maybe we trust Joe Biden not to give preferential treatment because he's a better human being than Donald Trump, but you don't run an ethics program on the idea that you hope everybody behaves. If everybody in the world would behave, we don't even need laws prohibiting murder then.
So, Walter, let's look at it from this perspective. And art is subjective, right? The appreciation of these pieces, but they're not bad, right? If you look at them, these are things that some collectors might like. Is there a way that Hunter Biden could now become this great emerging artist and sell them for a price that matches the market that would not run afoul of ethics concerns?
Well, the thing is, it's just got the absolute appearance that he's profiting off of his father's fame. He's not selling under a pseudonym. He's not waiting till his father is out of office. And he's not selling at any price comparable to what other first-time artists are selling. So the White House should have first made its move to have the president try to talk him out of doing this. And if that failed, they should have gone the opposite direction and asked that the name of buyers be released and pledged to the American people that what they would do is let us know anytime one of those buyers got a meeting with an administration official so that the public could judge whether or not they were getting preferential treatment. The problem is, now they've set a precedent for the next president. And even if you happen to trust Joe Biden, what if the next president has the character of a Donald Trump? This would be a perfect mechanism for funneling bribes to that president.
Walter, that's really interesting because those words that this is going to be a private and confidential opening and sale did get my attention too. Yeah. So they think that what I think the White House thought was that by setting it up as a blind sale, then there couldn't be influence exerted on the Bidens. But you're saying that it makes it secretive in a way that the public can't know. And I think that your idea about that he could have done it under a pseudonym is interesting also because Hunter Biden says that he now devotes his life to the creative arts. He credits it as his coping mechanism. We know that he's had substance abuse issues, and it literally keeps him sane. So he needs to be able to make a living somehow and to have an outlet somehow. But you're saying if he hadn't signed at Hunter Biden, this wouldn't have been a problem.
Yeah, I mean, people often ask, well, what job can he do? The truth is he can do any job in the world he wants, and he can sell art all he wants. But he ought to be abiding by a standard that he shouldn't be doing things to capitalize on his father's name. And you just are never going to convince me that selling art as a first-time artist at this price, he's not selling it based on his father's name. People are going to buy this art to be able to say, I've got the president's son's art hanging in my den or whatever room rich people who can afford this art have. And he's just not doing what he needs to do to avoid that. I know he's not a government official and isn't covered by the government ethics laws, but he's an American citizen and he has a patriotic duty not to capitalize on his father's public service. And that's clearly what he's doing here.
All right, guys. So as you can see there, this guy, again, he was, I think, an ethics director under the Obama administration. And he's obviously like, yo, this is not right. This is wrong. This should not be a thing. Okay, this raises serious questions about this administration. And, you know, what I found interesting is how instead of the CNN anchors, you know, kind of being like, yeah, you are right. Like, this does bring up some serious questions. We should look deeper into this. This also brings up questions about, you know, Burisma and all the other things Hunter Biden has been involved in. No, not instead of doing that, instead of being real journalists, they're sitting there like, maybe Hunter Biden is a legitimate artist. His paintings don't really look half bad. Maybe the guy has talent. And I'm like, bro, what? What are you talking about? The dude has never painted anything in his life, and he's trying to sell his art for $500,000. And for whatever reason, you're sitting here asking like, oh, maybe it's legit. Maybe Hunter Biden is just a talented artist. Bruh, I can't. I just can't anymore mainstream media. I just can't. It's like you're so far up Biden's ass. I just can't stand it. I can't stand it. I mean, guys, nobody's defending this. Nobody can defend this, right? Like, how in the world, like, do you think that the White House saying that, well, we're just going to make the buyer anonymous. We're just going to make everything anonymous. How do you think that makes this any less sketchy? If anything, you should want more transparency, not less. The White House is basically coming out saying, nah, don't worry about it. We're just going to make it less transparent so that way it's good. Bruh, Hunter Biden has a history of selling his father's influence. He has a history of doing that. He's been accused of this before. And now he's moved into a sketchy world of art dealing, right? Dealing art. He's not an artist, and he's selling his art for top dollar, right? And CNN tries to act like this is somewhat legit. Bro, I just can't. I just can't. You have a director under Obama who's literally like, yo, this is a problem. This is a big deal. And they're just like, whatever. It's Hunter Biden. And see, for these same people on the left who love talking about Trump, love talking about his kids, love talking about Trump and his businesses, they have nothing to say about Hunter Biden. They have nothing to say whatsoever. Because in my opinion, you know, again, if you're going to be consistent, be consistent. If you're going to get on Trump, you need to get on Joe and Hunter Biden. They have a history of this. They have a history of it. But they try to, oh, it doesn't matter. It's Hunter Biden. It's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. Dude, he's selling influence. He is straight up selling influence. The same way he essentially sold influence in Ukraine. Biden comes out there and threatens to withhold billions of dollars in loans to the country if they didn't fire a prosecutor that was investigating the company that Hunter Biden was on the board of. But according to mainstream media, there's no evidence that Hunter was selling influence in Ukraine, even though it's clear as day. And here we go again, a situation that's clear as day that Hunter Biden is trying to sell influence, which that's his career, right? Selling his father's influence, that's his career. And they try to act like, maybe he's legitimate. Anyways, man, is anybody surprised by this, right? Is anybody surprised that Hunter Biden, a man of many talents, is now trying to finesse his father being in the White House, being a president, to make some money, okay? Because apparently the guy can't do anything else. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.